In late 2020, a leaked birthday menu began circulating online, showing raisins being dropped into a steaming bowl of macaroni and cheese. It was an unexpected choice for a man who spends his public life looking physically shredded. Usually, a billionaire's birthday feast serves as a baseline for high-end luxury. The expectation is a menu that is flawless, culturally elite, and completely decadent. But his 34th birthday spread caused immediate outrage. Along with the raisins and the macaroni, guests were served a casserole modified with sun-dried tomatoes and capers. The internet called it a culinary crime, which created a strange contrast for an artist whose brand relies on high-end culinary flexing and exclusive restaurant access. That specific menu reveals a shift in his priorities. While he raps about indulgence, his actual daily diet is built around a high-protein regimen that rarely appears in his lyrics. Champagne Papi is the persona the world sees at parties, but the person behind it follows a routine that is often repetitive and strictly functional. Maintaining a global rap empire for over a decade requires a level of physical discipline that the lyrics often gloss over. Drake's discography is filled with references to elite Italian spots like Sodo Sodo and Carbone. He portrays a lifestyle where high-end carbs and expensive wine are a daily occurrence. The reality of his morning routine is much simpler. Instead of a 5-star brunch, he typically starts his day with plain oatmeal and a basic egg white scramble. This chart shows the shift in his nutritional intake during what his trainers call a cutting phase. He moves away from a standard diet, and as the refined carbohydrates are eliminated, 90% of his intake comes solely from protein and vegetables. When he is in tour prep mode, his lunch and dinner are almost always the same: lean beef and a side of broccoli. He needs that level of dietary restriction to achieve the physical results he frequently shares with his millions of followers. The decadent lifestyle described in his music is a successful brand, but the daily life of Aubrey Graham looks more like a professional athlete in training. This discipline often forces his staff to adapt. Private chef Kayla Greer became a key figure in his kitchen through her signature shrimp taco, but even that recipe eventually changed. Drake possesses a specific genetic trait that makes the herb cilantro taste identically to soap. It's a common olfactory receptor anomaly, but for a chef specializing in Mexican-inspired dishes, it meant removing a core ingredient for one of her biggest clients. The recipe shifted again when he moved into a health kick. He removed the taco shells entirely to stay within his zero-carb macro goals. The final version of the meal became a seasoned shrimp dish served over strictly portioned rice or beds of fresh spinach. World-class chefs are forced to modify their signature talents to comply with his biological boundaries and his focus on specific macronutrients. We expect the Champagne Papi persona to be drinking high-calorie champagne, but his calorie-conscious club drink is usually an Onda tequila seltzer, often poured over a single ice sphere. The brand was co-founded by Shay Mitchell. Drake reportedly drinks it daily because it lacks the high sugar content found in standard club cocktails. He followed a similar logic with Virginia Black whiskey. He helped formulate it to be smooth enough to drink neat, which removes the need for sugary mixers. His beverage choices are just as controlled as his meals. He uses low-calorie spirits to ensure he stays in a caloric deficit even during long nights of partying. These choices serve as a biological loophole, allowing him to maintain his nightlife persona without the weight gain that usually follows it. Even his alcohol consumption is a calculated decision that prioritizes his business interests and his fitness goals over true indulgence. The lyrics about Italian food are documentation of a reward. He treats these meals as a mechanism earned through months of boring discipline. These rewards are massive, ranging from Wagyu steaks at the Butcher Chef to fried rice at New Ho King. He connects these specific meals to his lyrics, recording the bars only after he has actually restricted himself long enough to earn the meal. Even his public feud with Kendrick Lamar worked its way into this culinary narrative through his specific, documented visits to these restaurants. But as soon as the reward meal is over, he returns immediately to the oatmeal, the lean beef, and the broccoli. The lifestyle Drake presents to the world requires a level of consistency that few see. He follows the rigid routine for weeks at a time, specifically to earn the moments of rigatoni.